Hello and welcome to Talkin' Trades, a weekly podcast where we talk about comics so you don't have to. I'm Jeremy, I'm a DC fan.
And I'm John, I'm a Marvel nut.
And I'm Matt. And did you know, and this one's actually going to fit with the book this week.
Hey.
Did you know it was revealed in Wolverine Volume 3, specifically issue number 38, that Bucky had a hand in helping Wolverine escape from the Weapon X program?
I did not. But
However, that good deed doesn't last because Bucky then goes to kill Wolverine's wife, who was pregnant with Daken at the time. So,
okay.
You win some, you lose some.
You sure
the story
do.
of Logan and
Yeah, we'll get into that when we get into this week on the pull list. But before we go to the pull list, gentlemen, let's get into This Week in Geek.
This week.
This Week in Geek.
This Week in Geek, John, we got a lot of stuff going on with the Spider-Man, actually. They make a prominent discussion piece in our This Week in Geek, and so does Lego. But Matt, why don't you pick which one you want to start with?
I'm so excited to talk about Lego on this podcast. Like,
who would have thought,
And I mean, they've released Marvel Legos since this podcast has started. And, sometimes, we talk about it. Lord knows we've talked about Build-A-Bear.
Normally with Lego and Marvel, it's how spoilers come out. Like they'll reveal sets early and it'll be like, oh, okay. Like Iron Man 3, for example.
So this upcoming set is actually featured around said Spider-Man. That Lego has announced that they're doing a set piece for the Daily Bugle. And just looking at this thing, the set piece is absolutely just amazing. I would love to have had it as a kid. I want it now. Like I want that, and then I want to put that like across the way from the Helm's Deep.
I was going to say, Matt, you're an adult. No one's going to tell you no.
What makes this such a big thing is that this is officially Lego's largest Marvel set, coming in at 3,770 pieces. I've taken a look at some of the pictures. There's like outside of the Daily Bugle, you have a lot of enemies. Obviously, there's Spider-Man, there's Doc Ock, there's Goblin, but inside they even have like rooms and stuff. Like this thing looks amazing. I would love to play with it.
So here's the question. Is this the first Lego set that John buys in his adult life?
I'm going to say yes.
Maybe.
I'm going to say yes. Depending on how much it is, of course. Like,
yeah, I was going to say the price was probably going to be a factor.
If it's less than 100, I think you buy it.
It will not be.
It's
for largest. It will not be.
Well, they had a Harry Potter set that's larger than that was 89.
Really?
So, yeah, the Lego sets are expensive. Don't get me wrong, but some of them are reasonably priced considering their Lego sets.
I'm anticipating this to be like Death Star, Star Destroyer type. Mm-hmm.
I think the Death Star is like triple that size.
Yeah, Death Star's big.
Is it that much? Wow.
The Death Star's huge. I'm pulling it up right now. But the Death Star is humongous.
Basically, what I'm saying is like I'm anticipating this to be positioned as like this is the big tier in terms of size. Like this is the biggest one.
But they have not made a lot of large Marvel sets. So for
that's why this
Marvel sets is not that big.
That's why this is news, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, as am I.
The Lego Death Star.
There's even the spider car.
There is the spider car. You think that
there's even the spider car.
Up to this point, you'd think, I don't know, did they ever release like an Avengers Tower Lego set? Because I feel like that would be huge, right?
I would be surprised if they didn't.
Never came out.
That's weird. You think that
how many pieces is the thing?
The Daily Bugle is 3,770.
Okay. Here's the thing. I must have had rot on my brain because the Imperial Star Destroyer priced at $700, and who knows if this is like
MSRP $700, or is this like
it's on the Lego website?
So yeah,
okay,
is 4,784 pieces.
So we're saying that this might be expensive.
So it could be within that realm. Maybe not $700. I don't know how much, but like money is an object when it comes to this. Because I definitely don't need it. But like it's super cool and I would love it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I'm very curious now to see how much these things cost. I don't know why I thought it was so much cheaper than it was. I mean, I knew it was expensive, but oh my God.
I imagine these little
I would have never guessed the Star Story was $700. I would have never pulled that number for that set in my mind. That would have been like $253, maybe.
Was like $1 bajillion.
Yeah, the solo one. Actually, I think they were both $1 million.
Just a travesty.
No, not a literal $1 million, but like
God, Darth Vader's helmet is $70.
Yeah, they're up there.
Oh my
Lego's
God.
Lego's never been super cheap.
Nor do they have to. Okay, so Millennium Falcon is 160.
Okay, that's
I can rock with that.
How many pieces is the Millennium Falcon? Let's see. This is tangent. It's half the size. Oh my God, it's half the size of the Daily Bugle. The Daily Bugle is going to cost $1 million. Oh
I think so.
God.
I think so.
I feel so misled by my own brain. 300 sounds so like realistic. That's probably low. Oh my God. There's the Obi-Wan's hut, which looks like it's made of 7 pieces, and it's $40.
Star Wars.
I was Lego kid here. Yes, it's bananas.
Star Wars, man.
Yeah. I'm looking up the Marvel Lego sets. I want to see what some of the other Marvel Lego set costs. Oh, they're not called Legos. It's called Lego Superheroes. Sorry.
You know what? Look up how much the Joker theme park was.
You know what?
The Joker amusement park.
Joker?
I forget what it's called.
Park?
They did like a Joker amusement park. I forget what the actual name of it is, but I really hope that this is good content to consume.
I don't care.
I mean, they also announced outside
Now
of
I'm
this,
so...
Lego also announced, sticking with Marvel stuff, they also announced the Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet. The one that he uses, the one that Hulk uses.
That's so
in
cool.
Endgame, and oh man, it looks great.
That's probably similar to Vader's helmet, is my guess.
You think, right? Especially with
probably life size, but made out of Lego.
With what they've been doing, especially with Star Wars, with the like iconic helmets from Star Wars, and they have Boba Fett and they have Mando, which I want that one because I am garbage. And then, of course, they have the Stormtroopers and Vader. So I think it'd be really cool if they did that kind of line where it's kind of more geared towards adults because, like, you build it and they have like the whole display and stuff, and it looks super cool.
Yeah, I think this is going to like walk that line between the two, where like it's cool enough adults to want it, but like it also is the same dimensions and everything. You can just drop it in your city.
Yeah. I mean, Kid Matt would be over the moon if he had this set.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So Jokerland, as it's called, which looks impressive, but nowhere near the amount of pieces that. It's 1,037 pieces. So a third of the size of the Daily Bugle. Right now it retails for a lot, but I don't know if this is the initial price, but it looks like it's about $250. Because right now it's retailing for $300, but it looks like it's all secondhand market. So who knows if that's what the initial cost was. I got to imagine that it's gone up, in resale. But oh my God. Hey, This Week in Geek, Lego is expensive.
Yeah.
I had so much Lego as a kid.
So did I.
Mm-hmm.
So did I.
My parents were great people.
I had
Holy cow.
I had just a huge tub of them of just I had Star Wars stuff. I had Batman stuff. I just had normal Lego stuff. It was great.
I had a lot of Spider-Man and Batman Legos.
I still get Batman
Jeez, all right.
Legos for like my birthday, and it's amazing. Yes. Today, as of recording,
May 19th.
DC had some announcements for
Be with you.
for animated shows.
And also with you as well, also.
DC had some announcements for shows coming to HBO Max. And they're both animated series. And boys, Bruce Timm, he's a legend. We all know that. Without him, Batman the Animated Series wouldn't look as gorgeous as it did. He's teaming up with Matt Reeves, who is the director of the upcoming The Batman, and J.J. Abrams, to make
and to a lesser extent, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker really
The dead speak.
Didn't do it for me. But they're teaming up. Somehow he returned. They're teaming up to make a Batman animated series, which is going to be kind of more like based off of the picture that we have. Like it looks like the first time.
Classic.
Classic. When I say classic, like when he first appeared in comics, he's got
Detective Comics 27.
got the big ears that are kind of sticking off of his head. Supposed to be
purple gloves. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We just see his face and his cape. It's going to be kind of like a noir style Batman. So I'm very, very excited to see that. That'll be coming to HBO Max, as well as Superman animated series starring Boys alumnus, which you would think would be the gentleman who plays Homelander. It's not. It's Jack Quaid
or Carl Urban.
I think he probably
either one would have made sense.
Nope, it's Jack Quaid who plays.
It sure is the guy who played Huey.
Huey is going to be voicing Big Blue. It's going to be voicing Clark.
Could not believe it, but hey, man, good for him.
Yeah,
hope he has fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have a good time.
Absolutely. It's shocking that he's the one playing Superman. That's just not what I would have thought.
No, you don't really see Huey and listen to him talk and think Superman.
I go, that guy is a Superman. Nope.
Well, especially because we've seen him in a show with superpowered individuals where there is a Superman allegory, and you're like, man, you're right. Jack Quaid does not fit that.
It's hilarious, but good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope both projects pan out well. I plan to at least watch the Batman one.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it all. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see how he does. I'm hoping he does well. It's the nice thing with voice acting is you don't have to look like the character, right?
Yep.
I mean, case in point, most voice actors don't look like the people they play.
You're right. Most of the characters.
See any 12-year-old boy in anything, and you see that it's a woman who plays them. Generally, a woman in their 30s. So
most of the characters voiced by Troy Baker are not nearly as handsome as he is.
It could be anybody. Even you, points to camera. What else we got, Matt?
The last little bit that I have, Injustice. We've all played those games. We've all had fun with those games. Much. Two of us picked the good ending with siding with Batman. We won't talk about who picked what.
I picked both endings because I had to play all of them.
Yeah, but like first time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not a monster, John.
What?
What do you do?
DC announces that the next animated film from them is going to be an Injustice animated movie.
No.
Yeah.
What?
That's breaking as of today.
Like that. Like all the DC show stuff, animated stuff that like all came out literally today.
I took a nap before this podcast, and I'm so happy I did because I missed all of this.
Snooze, you get surprised later.
I'm so excited. An Injustice movie? Oh my God.
The trailer will debut on the...
Is this on our Discord? I'm looking
on the Blu-ray edition of
just kidding.
Part 2 of the Long Halloween. There isn't any picture of the actual animated itself. The picture that IGN posted was from the game.
I pray to all the NetherRealm gods that exist that it is the characters, the people who voiced them in the game.
God.
So you bring Kevin Conroy back. You bring back the guy to Superman. You bring back all those people. And they do their voices again for the show or for the movie.
Except maybe pick up somebody else to play the Joker.
Well, Joker's dead in Injustice.
Not Injustice 1.
Not in Injustice 1. He's definitely in it. And the voice actor...
Well, if it's the Injustice universe, which I got to assume there's more stories to tell in the Injustice universe. If they're doing the crossover, yes.
Yeah.
They probably start with 1 and go from there. So then you can position Joker as your villain in the advertisement.
Or you could do the stuff from the comics.
It sells super
which
well.
is all pre-game, which is so sick.
Or then Joker's alive there.
Mm-hmm. No, he's dead because the comics take place in the Injustice universe, and it's right after he dies.
Oh, that means we would have to see Damien kill Nightwing. I don't want that.
Yes, accidentally though.
Really?
You ever read the comic?
No.
So the way it happened in the comics, a little spoiler alert here, but it's like it's got to be coming up on 10 years now.
Many years, yeah.
We're getting there.
So the way Damien kills Nightwing is they're kind of arguing, and he pushes Dick back. And Dick just stumbles and snaps his neck on a rock. And Bruce blames Damien hard. Says, you always hated him. You were jealous of him. This is your fault. Because Bruce is, a bad guy. is really heartbreaking. It makes you feel for Damien hard.
Yeah. Well,
he's still wrong, but like it makes you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like,
if you're ever bored, Matt, all of those comics are on my Comixology. I have all of them.
I might have to read those because
they're so good.
It's interesting to hear that when in the comics, especially recently, the MO between Damien and Dick is big brother, little brother dynamic. You know, they make jokes at each other.
The best Damien and Dick story is the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin, where Batman is at the time Dick Grayson because Bruce is gone, and those two have such a good back and forth, and they develop such a good character. We should read that one down.
I agree. Very, very good. I would love to read Dick Grayson Batman.
It's Grant Morrison's Batman, but Grant Morrison's writing Dick Grayson. It's very, very good. Okay. Is that any other news we have?
I got something that will impact us eventually. So AT&T and Warner Brothers are going to merge and create like a super company. The whole purpose of which is to like compete on a Netflix and Disney Plus level. AT&T has said some, but not all, of WB games will be sold off and separated. They have not said who or anything.
AT&T to me.
So we don't know if, like, for example, NetherRealm or Rocksteady will be sold to someone who does not own the DC rights. That's a concern we should have.
Yes, that would be a huge concern.
Don't.
The one you could probably get rid of is NetherRealm because they,
to do a Marvel fighting game. Let's go.
You know, I would super enjoy that. Oh man, that would be good.
Yeah, it would. But then Injustice would have to be another studio.
Take Injustice 2 and they reskin it. It's just, like, guys, you didn't even try. No. It's different.
Who's Hyperion? We already had Superman programmed.
Spider-Man yells, "Get over here. You can't do that." No, it's fine. It's different. Darkseid is now Thanos.
Yeah, obviously.
Doesn't actually work. Zatanna somehow is Captain Marvel. It's like, guys, this is not how the game works. But yeah, no, that's terrifying because as much as Rocksteady hasn't put out a Batman game in forever, you can always count on them being in the back pocket, right? You hopefully coming out with another one soon.
Suicide Squad is next from them.
Yep.
Right. That's scary. That is very scary.
My guess is that everything that's been in development is going to continue and be released because that's just millions of dollars in sunk costs if you just decide to screw over that game. If you hand it to someone else, then you're just going to add on millions and millions of more dollars and trying to figure out how they did what they did, et cetera, et cetera.
But there goes the future, right? That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the future, I don't know what to do. But I mean, they do have, I think, 12-ish studios. So it's bigger than just these few we've named. So I think that's what you're going to see.
Ones that we don't know or don't think about.
I think you're going to see ones that are not actively working on like a WB property. So DC, the Magical World or Wizarding World, whatever the actual name is called, Middle Earth. I think you'll see other studios sold off is what will happen. But we don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. But they did say that it will be broken up.
As we've established in the past, DC never does anything wrong when they do large things like a cinematic universe or anything like that. It's always worked out perfectly for them. Hold on, wait, I'm getting a text. It's from God. It says I'm wrong. Whoops. No, we're going to hold out. Obviously, we're going to hold out hope because we don't know the whole story, but it's not looking good for the DC video games. But hey, man, I'm just going to say something I've been saying. It all sucks.
On the bright side, they did say some of, so they are going to retain some studios.
Okay. That hopefully it's Rockstar and not Rockstar, Rocksteady, another realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ones that are primarily associated with DC properties will remain. That just makes perfect sense to me.
They got rid of the mobile game people.
Yeah.
See you in Injustice 2 mobile.
We don't need mobile games.
I don't
may have played ye for a skin, and then that was it. Because that's how that works.
What? Is that all the news that's fit to print, gentlemen?
I believe so.
Then it's time to cry about spy stuff.
Hey.
In the pull list.
Here's your pull list.
This week on the pull list, we are reading. Oh, what is this book called?
Black Widow Hunt.
What is it called? It's called like the Cold Army Man. No, that's not it. Oh, God, I don't know. If only we had like a diehard fan.
Winter Soldier, Black Widow Hunt, sir.
The Summer Seaman.
Whoa. Easy there.
What? I'm clearly talking about somebody in the Navy.
This is the Winter Soldier Volume 3, the Black Widow Hunt. This is Ed Brubaker's final trade on the Winter Soldier story with Mr. Lark, who is the artist who did really good art on these both these volumes that we read. We skipped volume 1, and he is not a part of the final one, which is Electric Ghost.
Yeah, which you genuinely can skip it because this wraps up very, very, very well.
Very good trade, but let's just get right into it. Last we left off, Bucky had quote unquote rescued the Black Widow, Natasha, but it turns out he didn't rescue her because that was all part of a ruse by Navakov to get the Black Widow infiltrated into S.H.I.E.L.D. We open with Bucky getting back to S.H.I.E.L.D. and finding out what happened. It turns out that Natasha faked it all, and as soon as she saw Fury, she was reactivated again. She kills Sitwell, tries to kill Fury, and escapes on a really cool motorcycle because she's dope. And I'm almost positive that this inspired a cover of Black Widow later, because there's definitely a cover where she's on a motorcycle in, like, I think it was the All New, All Different stuff, where she's on a motorcycle, like, woo, like jumping out of a window, and there's glass shattering all around her, and it's sick.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you.
So Bucky's like, oh my God, we did the thing, but turns out the thing was the wrong thing. And Maria Hill's like, you did the best thing you thought you could do. He's like, but it was the wrong thing. People are dead because of me. He's not wrong. And he confronts Rodchenko, who is the scientist who initially brainwashed Black Widow. And he's like, what'd you do? He's like, oh, it was all part of training. She was double brainwashed. Oh my goodness. She thinks that she is... She thinks that she was a double agent the whole time. The Avenger stuff was all her undercover, and she was a double agent the entire time. This is the new brainwash that's been given to her.
Yep.
But more importantly, she has completely lost Bucky from her mind. She has no clue who Bucky is. That is the real killer part of the brainwashing.
And remembering Bucky was how he was able to save her in the last trade. You're like, it's me. It's Bucky. It's James. She's like, oh my God, it was okay. And we thought everything was fine.
But God texted us and said we were wrong. So she goes back to Navakov, and he's like, you did very good, Black Widow. And she goes, yes, I did very good. We are a spy together. Bucky needs to track her down. So he enlists more Avengers help. Cap, Wolverine, Hawkeye. And they're like, wait a second. We're like, we thought you were dead. He's like, I'm not. I'm Bucky. I'm alive. He puts a cigarette out with his foot. He's like, I'm alive. Which he doesn't actually do, but like you could definitely see it.
Oh, easy.
Wolverine's like, I'll help you get Natasha back because I care about her too. Because I'm Wolverine. Yeah. Wolverine's great.
Yeah, you see a little bit of that.
Only we had a Wolverine stand on this podcast.
Wolverine's always great.
Yeah, his name is Matt.
If only we had a short, like vaguely Mediterranean, hairy guy who really liked a short, hairy Canadian guy. What are we gonna? Oh, Matt's raising his hand. Hi, Matt. What's up?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, that's me, and it's kind of funny, like, because I never really knew the paths between Wolverine and Bucky. So when he gave Bucky the cold shoulder, I was like, okay. But then I looked up like fun Bucky facts because I wanted it to be, this fact to be.
Do not shorten fun Bucky facts and to try to get into one word. Don't do it.
Yeah. Doesn't turn out well. But I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. Wolverine hates him. What with him killing his family.
As he should.
Which was after they fought in the war.
He's not wrong.
Back in the day.
Yes. In the war. Because Wolverine's very old.
There's a lot of history.
So this newly assembled team is going to try to track Natasha down to save her from everything. The person that they go to first is irrelevant because we're going to see something else first. Navakov actually takes Marvin Martin, who I'm not familiar with. John, do you?
It's like a background tinkerer sidekick. It's like they needed a character. They picked a character.
Okay,
it's not nothing super huge, which is not a pun on his stature because he is described as short. Using more colorful language that wasn't even appropriate at the time.
But Marvin Martin is a weapons manufacturer and designer. So Navakov takes him. He's like, you're going to come work for me. He's like, okay, sounds good. I'm definitely going to do that. Bucky has a cool little training montage where he's punching stuff and remembering Natasha. He's like, oh, I love her. We were in France one time. More cigarettes out with my feet.
But like, it's super sweet because like they're the only people who could really understand each other.
Oh my God, you and your emotions.
I am in for this relationship. I love it.
Right?
I love it so much.
Yeah, it would be a heartbreak if it like something.
Do you see why when I was watching Captain America Civil War and Bucky's strangling her and she goes, "Don't you remember me?" I'm like, oh, are we going somewhere? Are we doing something?
Yeah,
you gonna do it, Marvel?
Do we think that we're gonna see a Bucky cameo in Black Widow?
Oh my God, I am not ready.
100%.
I am not ready.
I bet the farm. I bet the farm. I would bet a Daily Bugle Lego set.
Ooh, Lego set. So high stakes. We don't even know how high those stakes are.
Risky.
So this issue ends with Bucky having his, he's fighting, he's shadow boxing, and Clint comes in and goes, "Hey, you're on duty, Barnes." And Bucky's like, "Yeah, we gotta go. It's time to suit up." And Clint's like, "All right, let's go get your girl." And because they have a lead in Manhattan. That ends that issue. The next issue opens with them in Manhattan, and Black Widow is caught on security camera blowing stuff up, and she smiles at the camera because she knows she's being followed, and it's really not a trail as much as it is it's a trail, but it's not because they're doing a good job of spying. It's because they want to be found. Like Natasha and Novikov want to be found.
This whole thing is part of Novikov's plan. He's still playing them, but he knows they have to follow up.
And they do. And they keep finding death in their wake. Novikov talks with the Tinkerer sidekick guy, and the guy's like, "Hey, so if you did like the brain stuff to her, why don't you just make her love you?" And he goes, Novikov says, "No, it's about the chase." It's like, "Oh, that's incredibly weird and sounds a little bit misogynistic and assaulty, my guy. So, hey, whatever."
To quote the great Princess Jasmine, "I am not a prize to be won."
This Novikov guy is not a good guy. If the like murder and like espionage and spying stuff didn't lead you to that conclusion.
I was going to say, someone say he's the primary antagonist.
Well, antagonist isn't always a bad guy.
True.
In this case, it's a very bad guy.
Very, very bad guy.
Like war criminal bad. Bucky and the team are constantly finding quote unquote trails that are just leading to nothing because Novikov and Natasha want this to happen. They want to bring this out. They want to torture Bucky with the inability to find her. They want him to be upset, and it's working. He's very upset. Eventually, he kind of starts to go through his head of like, what would I have done? Where would I go? What happened when I was first reactivated? And they have an idea of where they can go. And his idea is to go to Lexington. Lexington is in Virginia. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. It's somewhere.
I'm glad that you know geology, Matt.
Or it's in Kentucky.
They go to Lexington because there's something there. Well, there's a Lexington, Kentucky. But there's also Lexington. I'm thinking of Arlington, Virginia. I'm an idiot.
We go there later.
We do.
We live in the United States.
We see that AIM is already there. And Bucky's like, AIM is already here. Now, are we beating you to the punch, Novikov? Or did you give AIM this with the intention of trying to stop me and slow me down? And the reason they go to this particular place that AIM is because this is like an underground facility. And there's going to be information here, hopefully. But the information that they do end up finding is not, "Hey, here's Natasha. Here's how you save the day." They find a hard drive, which has information on it that is going to be very painful to Bucky. John, what's on this hard drive?
On this hard drive is a programmed mission for Bucky to execute. And if they ever want Natasha back, Bucky has to be programmed back to the Winter Soldier and execute the mission. And Novikov knows that this can be done because he knows that Rodchenko is recovered by S.H.I.E.L.D. So Bucky needs to undergo this mission with Rodchenko program him to undergo the mission. They don't know what the mission is. That's probably bad.
Now, here's the thing. When someone is this evil, should you go with what they say, even if you have no other options?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
It's probably a bad idea, right?
Bucky is flawed and short-sighted.
And in love.
Short-sighted, in love, they are the same thing, though. Put that cigarette in my shoe. I'm going to use that from now on, like when I DM and stuff like that. Like, this guy's tough. How do you know he's tough? Well, he lights a cigarette and he puts it out with his shoe. Oh my God, this guy's tough. He does a basic thing. Basic thing Bucky does not do. Bucky does undergo the brainwashing to execute this mission, which is, like we said, a bad idea, but he's short-sighted, in love, and flawed. This whole next issue starts off with not Bucky's narration, which has been the narration this entire book, but Wolverine's narration.
Yeah.
And Wolverine is great.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Wolverine is hunting Bucky down, trying to stop him. But here's the thing. Bucky's really good at his job and really good at being a murderer. And we find out that Bucky's kind of been holding back as an Avenger. Not because he doesn't care, not because he doesn't want to do his best, but because he knows how dangerous that he is. He's really a living weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And he is no longer holding back because he's brainwashed again.
Which Novikov did say one exchange in that the dialogue or the recording is that in order to complete this mission, he would have to be the Winter Soldier. He could not do it as Bucky. He could only do it as the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And that plays into the holding back aspect.
Thanks. I hate it. 18. We cut back 18. Oh, so he eviscerates Logan. Like Logan can't die because of wounds because he's got his healing factor, but he gets Logan as close to death as possible. And it's brutal. We cut back 18 hours and Bucky's like, I got to do the thing. And everyone's like, no, don't do the thing. And he goes, too late. I'm already doing the thing. And he jumps out the window with the hard drive and Rodchenko.
Well,
and everyone's like,
gets out the window.
This is a terrible idea.
He reaches over to Hawkeye's quiver, plays with one of the explodey arrows, and causes an explosion, which is where he's able to escape.
Yeah, it's great. He takes Rodchenko and he tells Rodchenko, hey, brainwash me with this. And then he brainwashes Rodchenko so that Rodchenko can't tell the Avengers where Bucky is. That's how good the Winter Soldier is. So now Cap, Clint, and Wolverine are going after Bucky to try to stop him because they know that whatever mission is planned in that brainwashing it won't just be a simple kill a bad guy or kill somebody. It's going to be something that's going to hurt Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
And hurt Bucky, indeed, it would. The target for this attack is Daredevil. And the reason that's a problem is because Daredevil and Nat are close. Daredevil
First
and
of all,
Nat are not.
Matt Murdock gets around in the Marvel Universe. He just does. So
He's got lots of ladies.
he's pretty close with like any kind of lady you can think of.
He sure is. But him and Nat have a positive relationship. It's not just like they were together for a bit and now they hate each other. No, they're still very close. So if Bucky were to kill Daredevil, when she came out of her brainwashing eventually, it would break her heart to hear that her boyfriend killed her ex-boyfriend, or really just someone she cared about killed somebody else that she cared about. So Novikov knows this and is using this to his advantage. That ends the issue. Our next issue opens up with the Daredevil and Bucky fight continuing, but Clint and Cap and Wolverine have gotten to the scene and try to stop it. The fight goes on for a while, back and forth. Some really great set pieces, including a flying Ferrari, which is super sick. Explosions, gunfire, acrobatics, blah, blah, blah. The only way it's stopped is when somebody who knows he can't hold back drops into the fight. And that's Captain America, Steve Rogers, Captain America. He drops down, does not hold back, and clocks Bucky in the face with the shield.
I also love the quick exchange of like, Cap, what are you doing? Ending this.
It's great. We actually have the narration changes in this book to Cap, talking about how, Bucky doesn't deserve this. Bucky would feel so bad about this. This is a bad idea. It's going to hurt Bucky. It's going to hurt Nat if this mission is carried out. So I have to end this. I'm counting on Daredevil keeping him distracted. Neither of us are holding back. Boom! Bucky's out. Bucky's done.
Daredevil does a good job of distracting him. He just keeps talking, trying to piece it together, which buys enough time. Cap's plan relies on Murdock being able to hear the helicopter due to his heightened senses. So it all really does come together.
Daredevil's a great character. I don't think he's utilized nearly enough. And the show was great for him, but I really like him in an ensemble piece as well. Hours later, they wake Bucky back up. They unbrainwash him. I'm like, hey, man, what were you thinking? And he's like, I wasn't thinking. I was in love. I was being short-sighted. And then Wolverine's like, it's the same thing. No, it's a cigarette.
Except it's not.
I'm French Canadian.
Except it's not a cigarette. It's like a cigar because Logan.
You're right. He goes, I wasn't thinking, bub. Same thing. Love, blah, blah. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't pretty. He's great.
I agree.
He's so great, in fact, that Bucky's like, hey, so, don't tell me you wouldn't have done the same thing, Logan. I know what I did wasn't a good idea. And Logan's like, punches Bucky in the face, and Bucky's like, yep, no, I deserve that. And when I first read this, I was like, oh yeah, you got punched in the face. That sucks. But then I remember, like, think back, adamantium skeleton. So that's not just a punch. That's a punch with, imagine a lot of metal hitting you hard in the face. That's what this punch was. Bucky's like, blood shoots out of his mouth. He hits the guy. He's like, nope, I'm good. I'm like, oh God, Bucky's tough. I forget how tough
Imagine
Bucky is.
getting...
He's not technically a superhero, right?
Imagine getting hit.
In the comic universe, no. The MCU, they gave him the serum, basically. They heavily implied that Winter Soldier has the serum. I don't believe so in the comic universe. I could definitely be mistaken. It's been forever since I've read like actual factual Winter Soldier.
Imagine getting hit by vibranium and then adamantium in the same night.
And he's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any Dane damage, but who can someone pick up that phone from ringing? So Bucky tries to talk with the team about like, hey, I agree that what I did was wrong, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. And they're all like, we do understand. That's the problem. We understand. And we also want to help. But now you've just wasted like 8 hours or 20 hours of our time chasing you down when we could have been going after Nat. We could have been chasing down more leads. We could have been looking into more things, but no, we had to stop you. It's like, you're right. I'm sorry. That's like, I'm wrong. And Cap comes in and goes, you know what? It's over. You can't change it. Stop worrying about it right now.
Yeah,
Stop.
Maria Hill even says like, this is our worst case scenario. We have 2 rogue agents.
Yeah. But Cap's like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Shut up. It doesn't matter what happened. We can only work and worry about right now. Because Cap's great like that. Cap is a perfect leader. Cap, anybody who says that Cap, people who are disenfranchised with the United States, which I understand, or disenfranchised with like the American way, look to Captain America. At no point in the comics, has he ever been written as anything other than a true, legitimate patriot. And a true, legitimate patriot wants their country to be the best thing it's possible, even if that means you have to acknowledge that it's bad. That's what a true patriot is. And Cap is more than willing to admit that America has flaws and that America has never been perfect, and that he is willing to be the first guy to step up and say, here's how we fix it. He is a perfect American, and he's a perfect leader of any superhero team. And I think Captain America is unbelievable. And I'm so glad that, 1, the movies exist and get to show us that, but 2, that I got to feel this like genesis of Captain America growing up. Like, where I didn't like him. I was like, Boy Scout, boring. Same with Superman.
Yeah.
Another character that has so much depth to him.
I get it.
He has so much good depth to him, and I love him. And here, when you see Bucky as the perfect foil to Cap, where Bucky also wants change, but is flawed and broken and has a hard time admitting it and has a hard time asking for help. Then you have Cap come in and be willing to give help, even though you never asked, and is willing to tell you to your face that he loves you and that you're doing something wrong and that's okay. God, he's such a good character. He's so well done.
Yeah, Captain America is amazing.
Which makes the end of this book even harder.
Because it also is so well written. But man.
Brubaker! What were you saying, Matt?
No, I was just agreeing with you
about Cap being perfect.
Captain America is, like, you guys have known me for a while. I was very vocal in that I just thought Captain America was, as he was designed to be in the comics by the government in the comics, that he was just propaganda. Now after, I guess, opening myself to the possibility that Captain America is more than that, he's now one of my absolute favorites. I love Captain America.
And I think Superman fits that well too, where people for so long he was like, Superman's cool, but he's got all these powers, he's so boring. Like, oh, isn't he so boring? Yeah. Well, anybody can be boring when they're written by an idiot. But when you read a good Superman story, you're reading great writing. Superman is the closest thing to, I think, like a Greek myth we can get, where it's like, in a Greek myth, yes, they're all powerful gods, but they still have to go through a trial or still have to go through something hard. Like, I'm still invested. That's the best Superman books, are the ones where, like, yes, he's fighting something on his level, or he's doing something on his level, and he's not just a Boy Scout. He's great. He's got a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Superman and Captain America are both paragons, to where they just exemplify these insane not insane, but like very powerful ideals, and they're absolutely unwilling to waver.
If we had to call these ideals,
I always love that trait.
Something we could say, like, I don't know, like, let's pick 3, like truth, maybe justice, and then what's the third thing?
Chicken nuggets.
I don't know. We'll think of something. I don't know. If you got ideas, tweet at us. Yeah, tweet us. Put it in the comments and whatever. But this book here is going to end with some foreshadowing. We do cut over to Arlington after Bucky is like, I'm sorry. I'm done feeling sorry for myself. And the team's like, we got to go do a thing. And they're going to go to where they think Natasha is.
Yeah, because Bucky's picking up, like, there's a trail being left for him by Novikov and by Black Widow, and it's imperceptible if you were not trained as a Winter Soldier.
We cut over to Arlington National Cemetery, which is in Virginia. Yeah, so we got there in the end, folks. Novikov and Black Widow are setting up their next plan, which is to do something. We don't know what quite yet. And there's a statue of Cap and Bucky at Arlington, and something's going to happen in the final issue of this book. Oh, the final issue of this book. Oh boy, this is tough. This is great. So it opens up with a really great narration. I want to read the actual narration. I know we don't do this all the time. I really like this. It's Bucky, and he's riding a motorcycle in the rain, which is like the most music video stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. I love it. And Bucky says, sometimes on nights like this, I have to remind myself that I'm supposed to be dead. So even though everything has fallen apart, even though I've lost my mind and made my mistakes, even though we're down to one last chance, I know there's still hope. And sometimes that's all you need. Every 13-year-old girl's going to get that tattooed on their ribs, you know? What a good opening line to the last part of this book, to the ultimate issue of the book. It's really great. We cut back a little bit and we see that the team has intercepted the Tinkerer weapon designer guy on his way to Chicago. He's about to get up and go, and Cap's like, oh, actually, you won't be going anywhere. And they talk to him and they get some information. He only gives so much because he only had so much. Because he only wanted so much, because the less information you have, the less of a chance it is that you get murdered by the bad guy. And he told him that he built a bomb, and the bomb has a radius of X feet, and he doesn't know where it's going to go off, but he wanted to get out of everywhere. He wanted to go as far away as he could. So it's going to be somewhere on the East Coast. We know that. Maria Hill is able to triangulate some potential targets. There's 3 targets right now. Arlington National Cemetery, Washington, D.C., the Pentagon, and Arlington National Cemetery. Those are the 3 places it could be where it would do the most damage in the area. So the one that looks the most dangerous, Cap goes to. Second most dangerous, somebody else goes to. The one that's the least likely to be the target, they send Bucky to, which works for Bucky because Bucky knows that that's exactly where it's going to be, because they're going to the least, quote unquote, least dangerous, because that's how they are. They're that smart. So he knows that he's on the right trail, but he doesn't tell the rest of the team. He hauls for this area, and as he's driving, he remembers Nat and him and the love and the life that they've shared.
And like the nice small moments.
You know, them punching each other.
It's great.
Snow at the Kremlin, things like that.
Having their only day off in Paris. It's fine.
John started crying about page 2. So who had that on the pool? Everybody? Cool.
I don't know how we pay that out.
Everybody wins. He's getting money back. Bucky finds more signs that this is the right place. He sees dead bodies. He sees stuff like that. And he calls in, hey, everybody, I'm at the right place. I see them. I'm going after them. And Cap's like, stop. Don't go after them. This is exactly what we told you not to do. And Bucky says, that's cute. I'm going. You guys get here as fast as possible. Cap's like, all right, everyone get back to transport. We got to hustle. Bucky's an idiot. And Bucky's running off. Yeah, I am. Let's go. Put a cigarette out with my foot. Love. Yeah. He's going. He's hauling. And Black Widow is very elegantly sitting on top of a gravestone because at all times she needs to be ready for the cover of a comic book or a splash page or Renaissance art. And she is.
Never know where there's going to be random regardless.
A guy walks up to her with his hands out and he's like, oh, I must paint you. And she goes, I know. Bucky goes after them, starts to fight, and he shoots, quote unquote, at Black Widow, but he's not trying to hit Black Widow. He's trying to hit Novikov. And she's so good at looking like she's evading the attack that he doesn't realize that she's coming after him. She attacks, Novikov attacks, Bucky is taking them out both at the same time. He's doing a great job.
What I love is that Bucky knows and describes that her attack wasn't really an attack. It was just a setup for Novikov's strike.
It feels like a better version of the Shane Black. Is it Shane Black or is it Guy Pearce who did the Sherlock Holmes movies?
Neither. It is
Guy Ritchie.
Oh my, yes, Guy Ritchie.
Guy something. All right, cool. Guy Ritchie. You know the scenes where he's like, oh, he's going to do this, then I'll do this, then this will happen. Those are cool. Yeah. This is the comic book version of that where it's happening in real time, and I like it. Bucky has, after a good fight back and forth, has Novikov dead to rights, a gun to his head. And Novikov's like, do it. Pull the trigger, do it. Everyone shows up. All the helicopters then shine their lights on him, and he goes, good, now we have an audience. And as soon as that happens, Bucky realizes that he can't pull the trigger. He's better than this. But Black Widow also realizes this, jumps in, tries to save Novikov, and Novikov's like, this is perfect. Turns her, puts a gun to her head. And she's like, wait, what are you doing? I'm on your side. And he's like, no, I will kill you because this is what I do.
The plan has changed.
Bucky's trying to save Nat and he doesn't want her to die. He calls in Clint. He shoots her with an arrow in the leg, which drops her down. She's like, oh, I'm in pain. And Novikov's like, uh-oh. Bucky shoots Novikov in the neck, but doesn't kill him. She is injured on the floor. Bucky goes over and goes, Nat, are you okay? And she goes, stay away from me. And he goes, Nat, it's me, Bucky, it's James. And she says, who the hell is Bucky? And it's at that moment that he really wants Novikov dead. John, I'd like for you to describe the ending to this book.
Yes. Rip our hearts out, Jonathan.
I would like to say, first of all,
give us all the gravitas
that
and
who the hell is Bucky? I knew it was coming. Did I read this during my lunch break at work? Did I cry? Yes. Yes, I did. Don't care. So good. So very good. So the rest of this book, you learn that, first of all, Novikov is going to spend the rest of his life in the raft. They get Rodchenko to work with Black Widow, and they're able to bring back her memories, which is excellent. They're retethering the strands to connect everything together. However, she get time with the Avengers, everything except that anything pertaining to Bucky Barnes is permanently severed. It is gone forever. Everyone tries to kind of raise Bucky's spirits, like, hey, we have all the resources in the world. We can try therapy. We can try telekinesis. We can try literally everything. And Bucky says no. Now her brain's been messed with way too much. Like I'm not going to be a party to it happening again. Not on my account. I couldn't do that, and it's very sad.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Hey, Bucky, don't worry. We can do this. There's other ways. We can do experimental surgeries. We can do hypnotism." And Bucky says, "No, you can't do that. I don't need to be a reason for her pain, for more of her pain. Just let it be." He ends it. So as I read the opening monologue, I'm going to read the closing narration. And that's Novikov's final move. Even though he'll spend the rest of his life in solitary on the raft, he still wins. I try to imagine my life without her, and all I see is pain and heartbreak. But at least I'll be the only one feeling it. I take solace in that thought and hold on to it for as long as I can. But it won't be long enough.
And then cry forever.
Oh yeah,
John. For those who are wondering, John is actively crying.
Oh yeah, I can't take it, dude. This is a lot. I love it, but damn,
yeah, it's a beautiful book. John's that one rap song. Why am I crying in the club right now? It's a good book, man. It's so sad. It's so beautiful. It's so sad. I hate it. I love it. It was great.
Yeah,
big fan.
Yeah,
adore it.
Yeah,
big fan.
Ed Brubaker does a great job. He did a great job.
But also, I share with Matt the Who the Hell is Bucky is an insanely well done bookend because it starts in The Winter Soldier when Cap says Bucky and he goes, "Who the hell is Bucky?" And then now we see it with Black Widow. So it's a very well done bookend to his run with Mr. Burns.
It's a good book, man. This makes me want to read Brubaker's Batman run even more. Like I knew, like being a comic guy, right? You're like, oh, Brubaker, he's great. He's the guy who brought Bucky back. He's the guy who wrote all the good Bucky stuff. Like, oh, cool, that's cool. That's a really big deal to bring Bucky back. That was a huge deal. So he clearly
changed
must
comics going forward.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Right? So you're like, okay, that's neat. Haven't really read it yet. It's cool though. I'm excited to eventually read it one day. And you haven't, right? Now reading it, I'm like, oh, what else have I been missing? This guy's really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, oh, this is a neat little story. I like this. No, it's like the story here has so many different levels, and the writing makes it feels obvious. This is all the like beats that happen, right? And it feels obvious because he lays these like the groundwork for the story. Like, of course, this is the next thing that happens. Of course, the person brainwashes Bucky again. Of course, Rodchenko is unable to save Natasha. Of course, XYZ, because of all the great groundwork that gets laid. When something feels like the obvious conclusion, it's because you have all of the information.
Yeah.
At no point did I feel behind the eight ball.
And that's
this book This book was really well done. It was a really, really quick read, too.
Yeah, it's
like
because normally the arcs we read, like Commonplaces, it's broken up into usually 6 issues, whereas this was 14 issues divided into 3 volumes, and we read 2 of them. So it was just not broken up as we normally read them, but that's neither good nor bad. It's just different.
Yeah, the pacing wasn't off at any point in this story.
I felt the narration did an excellent job of breathing, giving you kind of a moment to really sink in what's going on and see different characters' perspectives. You got narration from Bucky, from Hawkeye, from Cap, and from Wolverine, all of which was very well done.
He knocked this one out of the park. This book was very, very good.
Going. Another home run for Brubaker. Can this kid miss? Spoiler alert, no, he cannot. I would like to eventually read his Batman 100 Bullet storyline, because if it's a quarter as good as this, it's very well written.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it.
And Batman has more history to play with, so who knows? Maybe he brings back like Polka Dot Man.
The calculator.
The calculator. But that'll do it for this week. I think we're good. I think we all agree this book is phenomenal. A+, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. This is very good. Very, very
I know
good.
John's not sold on it yet, but maybe we can get John to come around on
I'm
this.
over here crying. What do you mean I'm not sold on this?
It's good, but I feel like it could be better. 8 out of 10. John's just short-sighted in love. Those are the same.
So they're putting out cigarettes.
What is love?
What? I don't know why I said that. Like, it'd be cool to be like, put a cigarette out in like his hand. Like, no, I said it with like the obvious thing that everyone. I'm an idiot. Whatever.
Throw it on the ground. And step
Whatever.
on it.
It all sucks. Everything's. I'm an idiot. Let's get to the outro. And that is the podcast this week, gentlemen. I think we can all agree that those books that we read these last 2 weeks were at least 8 out of 10s. 10 out of 10s, maybe. But I know Jonathan still needs to be sold.
I'm going to give it a 14 out of 10, because that's the issue that broke everyone's
Fun story. When you guys were texting about that in our chat, I hadn't finished reading yet. And I was like, oh, what's happening? And then I was like,
I believe the term is, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Yep.
Yeah. So, when Novikov puts a gun to Nat's head, I'm like, oh my God, does he kill Natasha? Because, like, it's comic books. Like, people die all the time, right? But, like, and this was old, so who knows if they killed her off for a while. Like, no way. And I was like, that would suck. And then it didn't happen. And then the thing happened. Like, that's worse.
That breaks your heart.
It hurt. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart to see. But I do know that it all works out in the end. But that's what happens when you're two spies.
But like, while we're on the subject, how good would this movie have been in the MCU?
It would have been so good.
Oh, so good.
It would have been so good.
That also doesn't mean you could never do something like this. Like, you could.
My hesitation is they've
a Sebastian Stan
They've
solo
literally
movie.
killed all the Winter Soldiers twice. Like, that's my hesitation. We can't have a third round of Winter Soldiers.
They keep bringing Loki back.
Loki's vastly more popular.
Yeah, now, but like, you're going to make him more popular. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So that's that. Next week, we are reading Harley and Ivy, the 6-issue miniseries from DC Comics, written by Jody Houser and drawn by Adriana Mello. Looking forward to that. That starts off our Pride Week, our Pride Month, not Pride Week, Pride Month comics, where we do comics that involve characters in the Alphabet Mafia.
Hey.
And I'm looking forward to that. We also, so that includes books such as On a Sunbeam, Kim and Kim, and The Backstagers. Though the 3 after Harley and Ivy are all indie books that involve characters who are queer or trans or anything in the Alphabet Mafia. And that's just the coolest thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. But we are also are going to do a Juneteenth book, which is Red, White, and Black, which is about Isaiah Bradley, who was in Falcon the Winter Soldier, but he was the Black Captain America in the comics. And he has a very interesting story that we briefly covered, but we'll get to cover it more in his actual trade. So look forward to that and get ready for some interesting books this coming June. We're all looking forward to reading them and covering them on this podcast. Gentlemen, do you have any closing comments about the book?
It's amazing, and I love it.
pain.
Also, the our books for June. One thing that we did not properly sell is how like interesting and diverse all the books are from one another, even within the scope of being LGBT. Like,
yes,
feel free to look them up. We're obviously going to cover them, so you can just do that. But like, I'm very excited for the wide range that we're going to be covering.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good month. They're all good months with talking trades, but they're good. We're also looking. I think we can finally say it. I think June is going to be the Patreon launch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to sit down and do it because I'm going to be out of school, off work for a little while. So I think we can get it set up. I mean, it's pretty much set up now. It's been set up since 2016, but I think we can actually put tiers in and stuff like that.
Good. That's good because now your work craziness is turning into my work craziness and John's work craziness. So
it has been that way.
But I'm the one who does all of our digital stuff, so I need the one who needs to be off before any of this gets off the ground.
Yeah.
So looking forward, get ready for Harley and Ivy next week, and we will see you later. But we're going to end with, we have this trailer for, Matt, you're the one who was approached by the studio. What is this movie called?
It's called Ashy Shoes. It's from
Ashy Shoes.
Yeah, it's from some companies that I guess we haven't really seen in a while,
Isn't this UGG Studios?
Yeah, UGG Studios, Payless Films, kind of out of the left field here.
I look forward to seeing this trailer. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
From the studios who brought you the hit spy thriller From Ukraine with Like, and the agent who said hi to me. I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you.
Two agents are in love with each other.
But I'm a killer.
And I am a killer.
But they're both killers.
We can never truly be together. Oh, God. Oh, I've got to put my shoes back on.
We can never truly be together.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I burned my foot. Oh, God, this hurts.
They can never truly be together.
Can you call me an Uber? Ooh.
Can you call me an Uber?
All right, listen. Here's your next target.
Oh, my next target, huh? Let me see this. Here is your next target.
Oh, my next target. Let me see this. But I love them.
Will they be able to put love aside to kill?
I don't know if I could put my love aside to kill.
I don't know if I can put my love aside to kill.
Or will they be able to put their kill aside for love?
I can't.
I don't know if I could put my kill aside for love.
My foot really hurts.
This summer, the spicy spy drama, Ashy Shoes.
Did you see that guy put that cigarette out with his shoes?
Everybody does that.
They got them ashes all over them.
Oh, that's the name of the... Do not say the name of the movie.
That is the podcast this week.
Goodbye.
I'm still walking with a limp. Oh, it really hurts.
You can follow us on Twitter at Talking Trades. Follow Jeremy on Twitter at LizardKing27. You can find John on Twitter at Maesterlaka, Maesterlaka. And for this and other projects from Matt, please check out Facebook at Matt Spina Music. And remember, we're not experts, we're fans.
I love this podcast. I would give this podcast like $4 or $5 a month for sure.